Calaroga Shark Media.
This is a bonus episode. I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. It's a little after 3 p.m. Eastern on Thursday, and the topic is Jimmy Kimmel. Massive news story, even beyond the comedy aspect of it, even beyond the late night aspect. There's a lot here, so I'm going to take my time and go slow. Before I dive in, let me just tell you what to expect on the feed. Obviously this. The next thing you're going to hear on the feed is a crossover episode with the Letterman Podcast. I just finished recording an hour with Mike Chisholm where we talked about what is happening. So I'll do a wrap on that. So that'll be coming out a few hours after this one. On Friday morning, you will get the already recorded normal Friday episode where I don't talk about this at all. I had pre-taped that to accommodate my schedule. My schedule now thrown out the window. And then on Friday afternoon, I will do another Jimmy Kimmel bonus episode. So that's what's coming. Let's catch up where we are a little after 3 on Thursday. To recap the story, ABC announced on Wednesday evening that it was pulling Jimmy Kimmel's late night show, quote, indefinitely, after conservatives had accused Jimmy Kimmel of inaccurately describing the politics of the man who's accused of killing Charlie Kirk. ABC aired Celebrity Family Feud last night. The network did not explain its decision at the time, but there was a sequence of events that I will break down for you. But I thought the first thing we should do is let's listen to what Jimmy Kimmel actually said. Here's the clip.
We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it. In between the finger pointing, there was grieving. On Friday, the White House flew the flags at half staff, which got some criticism. But on a human level, you can see how hard the president is taking this.
My condolences on the loss of your friend Charlie Kirk. May I ask, sir, personally, how are you holding up over the last day and a half, sir?
I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks? They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty.
Yes. He's at the fourth stage of grief, construction. Demolition, construction. This is not how an adult grieves the murder of someone he called a friend. This is how a 4-year-old mourns a goldfish.
A spokesperson for ABC said in a statement on Wednesday, Jimmy Kimmel will be preempted indefinitely. President Trump was in the United Kingdom the past few days. He was asked by ITV's Robert Preston about this. Trump said Kimmel, quote, said a horrible thing about a great gentleman known as Charlie Kirk, and Jimmy Kimmel is not a talented person. He had very bad ratings, and they should have fired him a long time ago. So, you can call that free speech or not. He was fired for lack of talent. FCC Commission Chairman Brendan Carr, who had made some comments on Wednesday that I addressed in last night's bonus episode, on Thursday, Commissioner Carr said that Jimmy Kimmel appeared to, quote, mislead the American public about facts regarding Charlie Kirk's killing. Carr was on CNBC's Squawk on the Street and said, quote, we're not done yet with the changes in the, quote, the media ecosystem. Carr said the issue that arose here, where lots and lots of people were upset, was not a joke. It was not making fun. It was appearing to directly mislead the American public about a significant fact that probably one of the most significant political events we've had in a long time, for the most significant political assassination we've seen in a long time. The CNBC host asked a follow-up, what does that mean when you say you're not done yet? I mean, will you only be pleased when none of these comedians have a show on broadcast television? Carr replied, no, it's not any particular show or any particular person. It's just we're in the midst of a very disruptive moment right now, and I just frankly expect that we're going to continue to see changes in the media ecosystem. One of the largest operators of TV affiliates in the United States is Sinclair Broadcasting. They said in a press release that ABC's decision to suspend Jimmy Kimmel was not enough. The company said Sinclair will not lift the suspension of Jimmy Kimmel Live on our stations until former discussions are held with ABC regarding the network's commitment to professionalism and accountability. They listed demands for Jimmy Kimmel's return, including that Jimmy Kimmel should offer a direct apology to Kirk's family. Furthermore, we asked Mr. Kimmel to make a meaningful personal donation to the Kirk family and Turning Point USA. Regardless of ABC's plans for the future of the program, Sinclair intends not to return Jimmy Kimmel Live to our air until we're confident that appropriate steps have been taken to uphold the standards expected of a national broadcast platform. Sinclair said in Kimmel's time slot on Friday they would air a special remembrance of Charlie Kirk. Rolling Stone on social media wrote, in the hours leading up to the decision to pull Jimmy Kimmel, two sources familiar with the matter say senior executives at its owner Disney and affiliates convened emergency meetings to figure out how to minimize the damage. Multiple executives felt that Kimmel had not actually said anything over the line, but the threat of Trump administration retaliation loomed. Hitting the wires at 2:46 p.m. on Thursday, some more comments from President Trump. He suggested that the federal government might revoke the licenses of broadcast television networks that are, quote, against me. There's a license. I'll give you an example. I've read someplace that the networks were 97% against me. Again, 97% negative, and yet I won, and easily, all 7 swing states. They're 97% against. They give me only bad press. They're getting a license. I would think maybe their license should be taken away. I think Brendan Carr is outstanding. He loves our country. He's a tough guy, so we'll have to see. So the next thing in the feed is that crossover episode with Mike Chisholm. His leadoff question was asking me about the FCC, and I explained licensing and all that. So rather than do that here, give me 2 hours maybe, and you'll hear that next on the feed, and I'll explain all that. CNN reported as news was breaking of Kimmel's show being suspended, guests booked on Wednesday's episode were already on their way to the theater. CNN reports, according to a source with knowledge of the events, Kimmel's staff members had been working as usual on Wednesday afternoon, holding calls with talent publicists regarding upcoming episodes just before the decision was announced. One celebrity publicist told CNN, "We're all shell-shocked." Another said, "I can't believe this is real life." This story is moving so quickly, I haven't actually had a minute since it broke to sit down and do a full prep. I'm actually working off partial notes as we do this. Marc Maron shared the following on TikTok.
It's happening. Jimmy Kimmel has been muzzled and taken off the air by his network ABC, who are buckling to and trying to appease the Nexstar media conglomerate, who have a lot of affiliates, and they threaten to preempt him at the suggestion of the SEC chair. This is government censorship. This is the Trump administration coming after people who speak out against him. This is the end of it. If you have any concern or belief in real freedom or the Constitution and free speech, this is it. This is the deciding moment. This is what authoritarianism looks like right now. In this country, it's happening. So if you're a free speech warrior or you really talk the talk about protecting free speech, this isn't about saying the R word or the T word or any of that. This is government censorship. This isn't Twitter. This isn't people getting canceled because of a cultural pile-on. This is the United States government silencing voices that they disagree with. FCC Chair Carr put this out. This is his directive. This is the U.S. government. Look, if they can come for Kimmel, they can come for anybody. This is happening. It's time to act. Figure it out. Find a way. Come together. Push back. Because if this goes, it's over. It's over.
Barack Obama on Twitter wrote, after years of complaining about cancel culture, the current administration has taken it to a new and dangerous level by routinely threatening regulatory action against media companies unless they muzzle or fire reporters and commenters it doesn't like. On Truth Social, Donald Trump wrote, "Great news for America. The ratings challenge Jimmy Kimmel Show is canceled," all caps canceled. "Congratulations to ABC for finally having the courage to do what had to be done. Kimmel has zero talent and worse ratings than even Colbert, if that's possible. That leaves Jimmy and Seth, 2 total losers on fake news NBC. Their ratings are also horrible. Do it, NBC. President DJT." And I'll leave that there for now. And that is a bonus episode of Daily Comedy News. The next thing in the feed will be the crossover episode with Mike Chisholm from the Letterman Podcast. Friday morning's episode is normal. I will do another Kimmel bonus episode Friday afternoon, and there'll probably be bonus episodes throughout the weekend, as this is a huge story. And I'll leave you with this. These are the words of Edward R. Murrow from October 15th, 1958. Murrow said, "Sometimes there's a clash between the public interest and the corporate interest. A telephone call or a letter from the proper quarter in Washington is treated rather more seriously than a communication from an irate but not politically potent viewer. It is tempting enough to give away a little airtime for frequently irresponsible and unwarranted utterances in an effort to temper the wind of criticism. Upon occasion, economics and editorial judgment are in conflict, and there's no law which says that dollars will be defeated by duty. What then is the answer? Do we merely stay in our comfortable nests, concluding that the obligation of these instruments has been discharged when we work at the job of informing the public for a minimum of time? Or do we believe that the preservation of the Republic is a 7-day-a-week job, demanding more awareness, better skills, and more perseverance than we have yet contemplated?